Good afternoon and welcome to Weekends Miami Beach. My name is Chef Bernie Matz, and every Friday at 5 p.m., along with my co-host Diego Cayola, we bring you local celebrities, local personalities, along with major events happening in the 305. So, Diego, welcome.
Hey, I'm super excited about today's show. Not only do we have a local personality and just a local guy that's been here for a long time, but a good friend of mine that I've known for many years, and really happy to have Palma here today.
Yes, Mike Palma is here today, the king of Ocean Drive.
Yes.
Well, was the king of Ocean Drive. Yeah. Now I've, gotten over to Washington. But
Yeah, he's a block away, yes.
Yeah.
He was the king of Ocean Drive when Ocean Drive had a monarchy. We no longer have a monarchy on Ocean Drive, so the king is gone.
Yeah.
The king was retired. No.
Diego, I know you've had a big weekend. We've got the South Beach Film Festival happening right now.
It's happening tonight.
Last night was the grand opening.
The kickoff party, it was great.
Things happening this whole weekend, right?
It's crazy. We got 20 events happening the entire week. Everywhere at Twisted Tonic, Ole Ole, you name it.
You look a little sleepy, like maybe you were out late last night.
Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah.
Right?
Everyone tells me what's the best part of the events. I said the end. The
end.
best part of an event is the end, because you know what went bad, what went good, and you're just glad it's over.
Well, we know that the end is going to be this weekend at Twisted Tonic. We've got a closing night party, right?
Yeah, it's a closing party, Twisted Tonic, 10 to 2 a.m. It's right in the rooftop of Lincoln Road. But we also have the awards show at the Avalon Hotel. It's a brunch from 12 to 2 on this Sunday.
And that's happening on Sunday.
Yep, SoBeFilmFest.com.
How do we get to the brunch on Sunday?
SoBeFilmFest.com. Just go on the events page on there and just RSVP, and you're there. We'll have a chair waiting for you.
And we've got, it's an awards situation,
Yeah,
right?
best actress, best actress, best comedy, you name it. It's everyone's going to be there.
Excellent. So, and that obviously costs, there's a cost involved?
Yeah, if you're going to eat, you got to pay. I mean, you don't have to pay if you just show up, but if you're going to, it's a brunch, so yeah.
Okay,
hopefully
SoBeFilmFest.com.
Yeah, SoBeFilmFest.com.
Right, SoBeFilmFest.com if you want to attend the award show, which is as well a brunch happening at the Avalon Hotel. The party, the closing night party, which is the one I'm going to, is at Twisted Tonic. I don't know if anybody's ever been, but it's on the rooftop of the Lincoln Eatery, which is on Meridian, right off of Lincoln Road. You got to know how to get there, right?
Yeah, it's across you from the old Dave's Cafe.
You got to kind of go through the food court and then
go up the elevator.
There's an elevator in the back.
Yeah,
and then go up to the roof.
But once you get there, it's the best view on the beach.
It's
once
awesome
you get there, it's beautiful up there.
Great place to throw a party. The party's going to be from 10 p.m. going all the way to 2 a.m.
2
You guys
a.m.
still stay up that late?
Yeah, we're going to try.
Okay, we're going to try to go till 2 a.m. I don't know, bring stuff that might wake you up.
Hey.
All right, cheers.
All right.
Anyways, guys, a good time to bring up our sponsor today. Spring 44 Vodka is our sponsor today. I don't know if you know this, Mike. Do you know this vodka?
I do not.
Let me tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah,
it's the water is from the springs of Colorado.
Mountains of Colorado.
The mountains of Colorado. It's completely organic.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's a delicious vodka. Today we're drinking Mike's drink, which is just basically vodka, a little soda, a little lime.
Yep,
right?
It's the go-to.
We call it Mike's drink now.
Mike's drink.
Right? And of course, with the heat, Mike, this weekend we want to drink plenty of Spring 44 to stay hydrated.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And Mike, thank you for joining us
Mike,
today
thank
on
you.
the show.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Cheers. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's get right to it because the king of Ocean Drive is here with us. Mike Palma served as king of Ocean Drive from 2002 all the way up to about 2020.
Yeah, 19
as the pandemic started to kind of roll in.
Yeah, you're right. 1920. You're right.
Mike Palma's from San Diego originally. Grew up, went to school there, went to San Diego State. He's one of these guys that always worked in a restaurant, was always a server, was always a bartender. That's where you made your money, right? Bartender.
Yeah, it got me through.
Tell, right?
Got me through school. Yeah, I mean that was the flexible way to make money, and it still is. So
so he bartended his way through San Diego State.
Yep.
And then he went right into hospitality in Southern California.
Yep.
you get a gig at a consulting company, right?
Yeah, after a few stints in different ownership groups, I joined a hospitality company called GOA, and that company eventually started doing projects in Miami Beach.
There you go. So you're like a young phenom. Like you're in your late 20s.
I was like 28, 29 at the time.
Right, and you're already a seasoned veteran in his prime.
Yeah.
Now, the guys, the new ownership from a place called Clevelander Hotel on Ocean and 10th, they're looking to rebrand. They're looking to redo this whole thing. So they call your consulting company, and guess who gets a plane ticket to South Beach, Diego?
I say it's Mike Palma.
Yep. You said correctly.
Ding,
Mike
ding,
Palma
ding.
gets
answer correct.
Mike Palma gets a ticket for 2 months to come down to South Beach and just kind of evaluate the situation.
Yes.
Remember, this is 2002.
Yes.
The 90s are gone. All right. A lot of the people from the 90s are gone. Gianni Versace is gone. And now we're looking at a more mainstream audience on Ocean Drive. They want to rebrand. They want to redevelop. And they want to take it to the next level as far as sales go. Now, I love this, Diego, because Mike is an F&B guy like myself. So we might be talking some F&B here. If you don't understand, go ahead and stop us.
I'll try to jump in there somewhere, yes.
Exactly. So, Mike, you come down in 2002. Did you know about South Beach? Did you know about Ocean Drive? You just showed up?
Look, everyone knew of Ocean Drive, and I'd been here a couple times for past Super Bowls, but I was never anticipating coming here and working here. But it was a huge opportunity. I mean, as you said, Ocean Drive was iconic. It still is today. Yep. And it had so much opportunity in front of it. And we knew we had a brand that was powerful. We just need to clean the brand, clean up the service standards, clean the place up, and get it to where it was making more money. And obviously that was the goal.
Excellent. So after 2 months, they said, hey, Mike, why don't you just stick around?
Yeah, the owner came in and said, hey, I think we've got the person we want, and we need you to help us lead this redevelopment. And I said, let me call my brother and family and let them know I'm not coming home. And I didn't. I stayed from that
Mike's
day forward.
Mike's a single guy. You were in your late 20s, early 30s.
Yep. Good times.
Yeah, good times.
Yep.
Remember
living on Drexel, living at Art Deco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was doing it all.
So you had the whole life.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to get into some numbers, some nuts and bolts with Mike. So pay attention.
Yes.
All right, Mike. You take over in 2002, and their sales are down, right, from the 90s.
I don't know if they were down because the books were tough back then, but we were definitely under the 10 million mark.
A lot of cash back then, Diego.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of cash. So we don't really know. We don't really know the real numbers. But there was a lull in that period, maybe after 2001, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely was a low after 9/11. I wasn't there for that, but that was obviously a trying period for a period of time, yeah.
Certainly was for South Beach.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so you pick it up in 2002, and you guys are doing, what kind of numbers are we talking about here?
Look, I took it over. They were doing between 6 and 8 million in food and beverage. Hotel was doing probably another 2, and obviously the goal was to redevelop, invest about $30 to $40 million into the property, and bring it back to a triple-digit return. So, without jumping all across the board here, your job here, we basically took it from 2009 and 12 to a redevelopment. And took it up to $35 million. Wow.
So you drove this yacht from
this moving cruise ship or stationary cruise
from
ship.
A 6-foot dinghy to a 100-foot yacht.
Those are significant increases, of course. I think that's what was expected by the new ownership. Yeah. And finally, around the mid 2014, 15, 16 is really the heyday of Ocean Drive, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Because Clevelander's kicking ass, but so was the whole street, right?
Yeah, you couldn't. Everyone was making money.
Everybody was
it was unbelievable, and it was 7 days a week. There's not many businesses, I think, in the entire United States that do 7 nights a week of business, and Ocean Drive and Miami Beach was doing it. So 7
nights a week, and you guys were going to what, 4 or 5 in the morning?
Oh yeah, 5 in the morning.
Clevelander every night of the week till 5 a.m.
Yep.
That's how you get the big numbers. So I mean, at the time, what were the big players? Who were the top 3 on Ocean Drive?
I mean, look, bottom line is that, as it is today, probably Ocean Drive from 9th into 11th was considered the entertainment district.
Right. So you were in the heart of the entertainment
district.
So
you got Mango's, you've got Oceans 10 and Cleveland are kind of the 3 iconic, I guess, Mango's and Cleveland are being the big boys, were driving all the traffic, and then everyone was eating off the fruit of those efforts up and down the street. And that was the issue. That's what basically turned. The biggest problem at Ocean Drive was the cafes got away from being cafes and tried to be bars.
Yeah.
And they basically started to sell more liquor than food to generate more revenue, and that created this down cycle that we experienced. So.
Absolutely. So Michael, Diego, I have to explain to you what it means to operate a $35 million a year business that's located on 10th and Ocean Drive. That is an operation that's literally printing money. I mean, he was the king of Ocean Drive when there was a monarchy on Ocean Drive. You actually serve as the president of the Ocean Drive Association from 2015 to 19.
Yeah,
right?
I did. But I want to just go back a second. We were the first business, not on Ocean Drive, but in all of Florida to bring in the frozen Red Bull vodka, which I was selling
That's huge.
at $18 and going through probably 600 cases a month of Red Bull.
There you go. Frozen
Red Bull. That was like that became a hit. It was called the Raging Bull.
Oh, wow. Raging Bull.
And it was right there in the frozen drink machines, outdoors, hot, so that was one of the big iconic moves. But to answer your other question, what were you asking, Bertie? You were asking about the, I missed it. What was part 2 of that question?
Anyways, I don't remember now what part 2 of that question was.
The Spring 44 is kicking in.
Yeah.
It's kicking in.
But you made big moves at the Cleveland. I mean, you brought in ESPN at one point, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So ESPN was a really cool partnership. I mean, me and Dan Lebitard became friends. Dan was looking for a studio to bring his, with the president of ESPN who was supporting him. And basically we made a deal in combination with the city helping us and ESPN to put ESPN studios on Ocean Drive upstairs in a brand new studio.
Yeah, that was big.
I mean, they literally went. They were the most important street in the country. They went national. They had ESPN recording shows out of their back. Not only that, but when the Marlins Stadium premiered and the baseball team moved to their new home, they put in a Clevelander out there in left field. Remember that?
Yeah. Was that a good move? Or
that was a great move. I mean, look, David Sampson, still a good friend of mine, obviously president back then. He wanted an iconic experience, a venue that would speak to the Miami Beach in the stadium, and they were going to put a pool in. And he thought, well, what better place to put than the Clevelander? So he came to us, and they really wanted a full-fledged Clevelander life experience with, they wanted bikini models, they wanted full bar, and we had this incredible view of bucket seats against the wall in left field with a pool and a DJ live during a baseball game.
Wow. I don't know if you remember this, Diego, but if somebody hit a home run over there in left field and you caught it, what'd you get, like a bottle of champagne?
Yeah, I got a bottle of champagne if you caught it.
All right, so if you caught a home run ball out there in the Cleveland, you got a bottle of champagne. Yeah. I got to say that I don't know, I remember going to some of these games, and the team was not very good. The audience was not very well attended, but
50
there was
people went to watch the game.
Yeah, but there was more people back in the Clevelander in the left field than there was out in the whole stadium, right?
There were nights when there were less than 5,000 people there, and we were busy and packed. I think another funny thing that actually, if you remember, the visiting bullpen was adjacent to the Clevelander. And it got to the point where they started complaining to MLB about the music. And so the Marlins had to switch the home back over and move them over because the music complaints from the visiting team.
Goodness.
They thought it was on purpose, I guess. I don't know. So,
all right, well, that's all gone. We don't have to get into that. But in 2020, the Playwright Bar, remember the Playwright Bar on 13th and Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Great bar.
Yeah, iconic, yeah.
Mike goes into the bar and sees an old bartender working there. The old bartender tells him, hey, this place is for sale. Why don't you buy it? Yeah. And Mike made a deal with the guy, and he said, I'll buy it if I can call it Mickey Burks.
Yes.
Who's a guy who was a bartender at Clevelander for 30 years.
Yeah.
How about that? Did you know that
I didn't know.
backstory?
Yeah, well, Mickey Burke was brought down he came from England with the K's when they bought the Clevelander. And he was doing maintenance. And in fact, when I got there in 2002, he was bar backing. But he'd been there for 33 years. And then when the new company came in and bought the Cleveland from us, they let him go.
Oh, wow.
And he worked at Playwright. And so as I started to get off the exit strategy from Clevelander, I wanted a Playwright to visit him. And he said, hey, Mike, you should buy this bar. And we're not doing well. And I said, hey, and then he asked me again. I said, well, Mickey. I said, if I buy this bar, we're going to name it Mickey Burks. And he laughed. And then 6 months later, I had the bar, and I named it Mickey Burks.
He had the bar. Now, he got it during the pandemic, so I guess you got it on a good deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, the brands are good landlords, and they've been good to me.
You picked up the space, but you changed the name.
Yeah,
now
changed the name, redid it, opened.
Now, is Mickey still there?
Oh yes,
He's still there.
Yes. Mickey, you can see Mickey
awesome.
most days at 3 p.m. He's in there watching soccer and
At
having
3 in
a
the
Bud Light
afternoon.
or- Yes.
Have you been?
I've been.
We gotta go. I
Great
haven't
bar,
been.
great
Yes.
food,
Yes.
fish and chips.
Oh
Is
yes.
Oh, incredible.
Signature fish
Good
and
food.
chips.
Yeah, incredible. It's batter, right? It's beer
Yes.
batter.
Yeah,
and
beer
stuff.
batter.
Incredible.
It's paddock. 1 pound of paddock.
And it's a good local spot. I mean, I know it's, in touristy South Beach, but you go there,
Yeah.
a lot of locals go to that spot.
Yes.
No, it's easy to get to if you're a local right there on 13th and Washington. You can, that whole neighborhood there of South Beach, you can kind of wander off there and call it their own. It's cool. Like the Cheers over there in the corner.
Yeah, great corner spot.
Excellent. All right, so what are you doing this weekend, man? I know you're partying all weekend. Is there like food involved with these events at the South Beach Film Festival?
Yeah. There's a lot of events at the Avalon, like I said. They're Ole Ole, Taverna, Twisted Tonic, Clevelander. They're hosting a big pool party on Saturday. A lot happening.
So you're pretty much spending the weekend eating at the sponsors of the...
You know something? I don't eat during events. I just don't. I'm not hungry. It's
great.
It's just running around. You know what I mean?
So you come out, 3-4 pounds lighter?
I'm at 10 pounds lighter
Really?
for sure. Yeah.
You're like the wedding planner.
There you
You're like the guy
Exactly.
that just coordinates everything.
Right,
and
just
then-
give me water.
Yeah.
But I have a great team. I'm the project director, so I the day of the events, I'm not that involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the one that gets the contracts, gets the venues, brings in the talent, deals with the sponsors. But day of event, I'm usually not that involved, and I really don't want to be
So
involved.
you get to enjoy yourself.
Somewhat, yeah.
Mike, tell us, I know that you keep ear on what's happening in the city, obviously as a local businessman and a guy who's been, affected by what happens in the city. What's going on?
Well, look, I mean, obviously, events are a big traffic driver for all the businesses, and the Memorial Weekend Air Show is coming up at the end of the month, which has been a great transitional piece that's coming to the city, and it's obviously turned into a very family-friendly event.
Great. By the way, as the president, when you were president did you have anything to do with bringing that in?
Michael Grieco at the time, Commissioner Michael Grieco, he did call me for support, and we did support the referendum, but I wasn't initially part of any voting.
Because that was a great, great move.
And by the way, believe me, because at the time there were a lot of people against it, thinking it wouldn't work. Well, thank God they did it because it changed the landscape of that weekend completely.
Do you still see Michael Greg? I haven't seen him in ages.
That's a good question. I mean, Michael reached out to me via text about a few months ago, but I haven't seen him personally.
Then let's call Michael and maybe we'll meet him over at Mickey's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Mikey, come to Mickey's.
Well, we know the owner now.
The Aaron C show is like a public space. You can go and actually watch it for free. You can just hang out on the beach. They also have VIP tickets for sale. It's coming up next weekend, right? It's the whole weekend, right?
Yeah, I believe they run the show Saturday and Sunday, and it is free.
And then Monday is Memorial.
And Monday's Memorial Weekend, yeah. But that's again, I mean, that you're talking about a diversified crowd. It's some spending's going on again. It's been a game changer.
Yeah, it's a family crowd now.
Yeah.
I know I go out there. Before it used to be, not the best crowd. But once, Mike developed this event, it's all tents on the beach, family, everyone having a great time. Yeah, it's definitely a game changer for that weekend.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We also have some soccer. This is huge. I know both of you can speak to this. We've got a FIFA bringing the World Cup here over the summer, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, it's called the FIFA Club World Cup.
FIFA Club.
Because it's the best clubs that last year that won all the different leagues in the world. And those are the people that are participating in this first annual FIFA Club World Cup. And those games at Miami Hard Rock Stadium with some huge teams in June. And that leads into, obviously, what I think is going to be the year of all years is 2026, where we're hosting both the National Championship for football and we're hosting the World Cup.
Yeah.
So 26 is going to be huge.
Next year's
for
going to
Miami.
be incredible.
These events that they bring to the city are so big, not only for the big players, but for the little fish, the little guys like you and me, Mike. You know that these are the best weekends of the year, maybe the best weeks of the year. A lot of these events, they're necessary, so it's really important. That's why we're highlighting them. Yeah. All right. So FIFA coming up. Obviously, I mean, it's Hard Rock Stadium, guys. These are easy tickets to get.
No.
I've never gone to a soccer.
easy.
But that's
Soccer.
next year.
No?
The FIFA World Cup is next year.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay,
it's
World Cup's
June.
next year.
Yeah.
No. He's talking about the FIFA. Well, World Cup. Club World Cup's this year.
It's this starting June, but the FIFA World Championship, La Copa, is next year, June. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm
That's
going to
good.
confess, guys, I haven't seen a soccer game in maybe a decade.
It shows. It
But,
shows.
yeah, but I know that both of you guys are into it. This guy is, he's Argentinian, so he's very into it.
Exactly.
Well,
I got the branding right here.
Yeah, but Bernie, I will tell you this, in America, especially Miami, soccer is probably one of the biggest sports there is. And in fact, it's one of the huge driving forces for Mickey Burke's daytime business. We get a huge soccer
because you air all the European games,
We
right?
have with the Liverpool home club. We've got all the other European teams, and we're busy every Saturday and Sunday weekdays watching soccer.
What is a better clientele than that day drinking soccer hooligan fan?
Yeah,
right?
English drinking people during the day.
Yeah, do they tear up? Do they get when they lose? Do they tear up the bar?
No, that's what's great. That we don't get the hooligans. We get normal people that just like to enjoy themselves.
How's the Guinness sales?
Oh, through the roof. We went through. Listen to this. Liverpool played the game 2 weeks ago. I believe they clinched the championship. That I think they were playing. I think they're playing Crystal Palace. But they in that 2.5 hour period, we went through 6 kegs of Guinness.
Oh my goodness!
6 kegs. That's more than we did on St. Patty's Day.
I think Mickey Burke might be the #1 Guinness distributor.
Yeah.
Guinness dark distributor, certainly on the beach. I don't think there's a lot of Guinness drunk here on the beach.
I'm not a fan. You're a fan of Guinness?
I'm not a fan. No,
it doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough gas.
It's creamy.
It's creamy.
It's a different taste profile.
I like a refreshing cold. A beer with a lot of gas in it. You know what I mean?
That's not Guinness.
Yep. Guinness is lacking gas. Okay.
Well, before we get out of the subject, how do you feel about the changes that are developers want to bring to Ocean Drive? The state, they were trying to pass a law where we can change Ocean Drive, change the facade, bring high rises. I know you're out of Ocean Drive, but how do you feel about the Art Deco district?
I'm out of the day-to-day, but I'm not out of it in emotionally, nor is it strategically. It's part of my business, and the success of it is important.
Yeah.
Look, Ocean Drive is not ever meant to be a huge, towering, 30-story buildings and whatnot, but I think there is some development that should take place, but I think they got to be respectful to the historic designations and keeping it the way it looks because it's unique. And I think that they should focus more on the quality of the tenants and of the businesses than building up just to try and make developers happy.
Yeah.
It comes back down to the product. Serve the right product, service it correctly, and they will come because Ocean Drive is iconic. So the more we elevate and bring those services up and make the experience better for the consumer, we'll be successful regardless of development.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right, Mike. Every week we ask our celebrity guests, which is what you are today.
Ooh, that's so interesting.
What your favorites are, because I know you're a local guy. You spend a lot of time on Miami Beach, although you don't live here in Miami Beach any longer.
Yeah.
But you've got the history, and you certainly are here every day. So, Diego, let's get into it with Mike about one of the best spots here. Yeah. Right.
Well, what you mean for what type of cuisine, or just open ended?
Well, let's start with what's the best sushi spot? What's your go-to?
You know what? Look at. I'm on Washington Avenue. And I'm a big guy with what's successful and been there. And Tony's Sushi to me, from a quality standpoint, take away all the shishi stuff and paying $80 for whatever. You want quality seafood? I love Tony's Sushi. I love the avocado tuna. Their yellowtail jalapeno roll is incredible. Yep. Okay, so I support Tony's 100%.
Great spot. It's still family owned. Tony's has been there since the late 80s. Right across the street from Mickey Burke's.
Yes.
So you can just kind of roll across the street.
Do Tony's and do Mickey's.
Remember Sushi Rock? Sushi Rock was close
by there.
I
love
Sushi Rock was on Collins.
Yeah, that
was. It was just a level up right there. You had to go up the stairs. That's a great spot.
And
that used to be.
And Bernie, you got Henry Delgado, who's a great friend of mine. He runs Smith Walensky's, and you still can't beat that view, that food, that experience. If anyone has not done that, they haven't truly been in Miami Beach. You have to go live that. You have to live outside and have a cocktail and a steak and look at the port and watch the cruise ships go by.
Yeah, watch the boats go by.
So we're saying that Smith & Walensky's is your favorite spot,
I love
right?
it. That's where you can find me on Fridays, usually hidden in the back.
You know what? Mike and I are both going to agree on Tony Sushi. I think that's a great, you killed it on that first response. And I will tell you, Diego, my go-to, if I'm trying to impress, I'm taking them to Smith & Walensky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. And you have Santorini close by there. Santorini is great.
Yes, it is.
With Giorgio there. That's a great spot.
If there's a wait outside, you got to sit outside. It's separate. You can't make a reservation, right? But if there's a wait, you can get a drink at the All right, ready? You can get a drink at the bar and walk down to the beach and wait.
Yeah.
And then come back as soon as your table's ready.
That's unique.
right?
That is cool.
Definitely the coolest spot in Miami Beach. Excellent. All right, what's the best burger in town, Mike?
Look, I'm biased to burgers because at Mickey Burke's we came up with the Big Mike Smash, which is a 10 ounce, 2 5-ounce patties smashed,
Wow.
all beef patties, double American cheese, sautéed caramelized onions, pickles, and our bistro secret sauce. I'm telling you,
I am
on a-
there.
No,
We gotta go by.
and we have fresh cut French fries every day. We
The
don't.
Oh, wow.
No frozen.
The Big Mike.
Big Mike
I love
Smash.
it. The Big Mike Smash.
I'd love to have you guys.
And
for
these
it.
are handmade burgers
Yep.
there, not
Yep.
patties.
Yep.
Because there's nothing worse than going to a restaurant and seeing a perfectly round
rounded.
patty, kind of watery. That's horrible.
No.
You know where I ate yesterday? I ate at the Big Pink.
Yeah,
I haven't ate there in
miles.
years, and I ordered the Big Pink burger, and it was incredible.
Yes.
It
was
was kind of lopsided.
Yeah, they packed it. They packed it. You know
it was
it's-
really good.
Yes.
Really
All
good.
right. Mike's 2 for 2, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I haven't, in all honesty, I haven't tried the Big Mike Smash, but we
gotta go.
to go and try it.
We got to go.
Please do.
Okay.
Everyone
Excellent.
go. Yeah.
All right, Mike, ready? Number 3, best pizza in town.
Ooh, pizza. You know what? That's a good one because
I
I,
think
don't
I caught
eat a
him
lot
off
of
guard.
Yeah,
You,
you
you
get off
did.
Miami
You
Beach.
did.
You get off Miami Beach.
Well, then you got to go with Steve's. I mean, I live in North Miami, and I'm a Steve's guy.
we live like five minutes from each other. I knew
It's
he was
hard
gonna
to
say
not
Steve.
go to Steve's.
Yeah.
Okay, these guys live just a couple minutes away from each other. They both go for Steve's. Steve's a little bit more like New York pizza, obviously.
Yes.
Very iconic. Steve's been there about 40 years. I remember when I was a kid, we used to go to Steve's.
Love Steve's.
On
Great.
Biscayne, about 123rd.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right next to the.
Excellent. All right, Mike's
Home
3 for.
Depot.
I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less, but I'd say Mike's 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Great spots.
All right, Mike's already. All right, Mike. Well, what's the most romantic restaurant that you go to?
You know what? I'm a big fan of Casa Tua. I know it's
Where?
kind of she, but
Old
Casa
school?
Tua.
Casa Tua.
We're right
If you-
over here in
yeah,
South Beach.
If you sit outside or inside Casa Tua and you're on a date or you're with your wife, you're going to get exceptional food, exceptional service, and it's unique.
Now,
It's
is this
just-
where you took your wife on your first date?
It's one of them, yeah. It's
It
one
is,
of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that eventually cost more than the meal because I had 3 kids. So, and they're going to college. Okay, so it's a multi-million-dollar meal.
But she's worth it because I
She is.
know your wife.
She
I
is,
actually
Kathy.
knew his wife first, and I knew Mike.
Yes.
In my first marriage, I was a full-time dad Monday through Fridays, so I would take my kids to school, pick them up from school, and I was a parent class parent
David
teacher.
Lawrence, yes.
Yes, and his wife was the same thing.
Yes.
We were volunteering the classes, and one time I started speaking to her, and then once I said, "Oh my God, are you actually married to Mike Palma, the guy from Cleveland?" First thing she said was like, "Oh, you work for him?" I said, "No, not in this lifetime. I don't work for him, but I know him very well."
Yes.
So it's such a small world, and I can vouch she's really, really
Imagine
sweet.
Yeah.
it was
awesome lady.
Yeah,
it was
thank you.
basically
Yeah.
a time where everyone worked for Mike Palma.
Yeah, not me.
We had 300 people working for us. So
All
there
I can
wasn't a-
say is that the story is a beautiful story. You're still married,
Yes,
right?
yep,
It
yep.
all started at Casa Tua, where you totally blew her away.
Yep.
And now 3 daughters later, I know your oldest is about to graduate.
Yeah, well, she's at FIU. She's finishing. She wants to be
Oh,
in.
you've got somebody at FIU.
Yeah, and she wants to be. She's a big time studious one. Then I've got Julie here with me today.
Good.
She finishes school in a couple weeks, so she's got senioritis. And back to my wife. She did a great job raising these kids. I give all the praise and glory to her, and I'm glad you guys had a chance to meet her, Diego, because she's good.
Oh, she's awesome, and she got you to be.
Yeah,
religious.
She tamed down the beast of
Uh,
Ocean Drive.
You know,
Can
when,
only
when I
imagine.
when I met Mike, it was no church or nothing like that. But now you're very, very involved in church.
Yeah. There's been some grounding things have gone on. It's been great. I mean, she's been great for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Wonderful, guys. Okay, let's see. You already told us what your favorite overall was. Basically Smith, right?
I'm a steak and potatoes kind of guy, and I just can't. I love Smith's. I love the outside. I love the environment. I love Henry. It's such a good place.
I'm surprised none of our guests has ever said Joe Stonecrab. No one.
No one.
No one, and that's more
Yeah.
iconic than Joe Stonecrab.
It is, but
Maybe
Joe's.
because it's seasonal.
Yeah, I don't know. Joe's is just. It's just.
Two tourists.
I don't know. It's great, but I don't get that same home cooked feeling when I go there of relaxation.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just-
crably.
I mean, it's just. I feel rushed. I feel it's a little different.
I guess
It doesn't-
stone crabs is not like a very homey family food, right? Because you go to Smith and Wesson, you get The burgers obviously is great, but the meatloaf is also great.
Everything's good
Like,
there.
Everything's
good
great.
there.
The servers have been there for ages, just like Joe Stone Crab.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. You can wave, you know the people. And I told you, Henry, who's a co-partner there, he's done a phenomenal job over 30-something years running that place.
Yeah, great spot.
Great spot on the martinis, numero uno. Okay. All right, so what are you doing this weekend, Mike? I don't.
You know what? This weekend's just, again, it's a typical weekend, so it's probably going to be a lot on the beach. I'll be out. We've got a couple of, FA Cup soccer games. We've got live music on Saturday nights. I'll be at the bar. I'll be in the area. Nothing real unique happening, but
we've got
just
a big event this weekend. The Miami Beach Chamber of
by
Commerce
the way, yes,
throws
the gala.
what they call
The gala.
the Miami Beach Ball.
Yes, change of the ball. You're right.
Yep.
Correct.
Are you going?
That's
I
Saturday
believe
night.
that is Saturday night. I think I'm going to that.
Mike Palma is going to the gala.
Yeah.
You heard how much the tickets are?
I'm hoping I'm getting my mind covered.
It sounds like somehow Mike got comped.
Yeah, I'm trying to get comped.
I mean, it's well worth it because we just had the chamber president last week.
That's right.
And she's awesome. And I know
she's
this is a huge
and by the way,
success.
she's done some great things for
Yes,
us.
but it's $500 a ticket.
It's all going for a good
Wow.
cause. There's still tickets available.
Wow, 500.
Still tickets
Yeah.
available, $500 a ticket. You can go on Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce and grab them.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's the best party of the year here in Miami Beach. Michael, I'll see you there. I will be attending.
Yes, I will. I mean, if I get
All
that
right?
comp ticket,
Did
I'll
you
be
get
there.
are you going dressed up?
Well, I mean, I
Like
normally
that fair.
I don't wear the tux. No, I usually just wear a nice suit with a yeah. I don't do the black tie.
Tie. Suit
Yeah,
tie.
no, I'll do black tie. But
Whatever
I don't
his
do
wife
that.
tells him the way he's gonna wear.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say whatever
Just
she.
check with her.
Yeah.
Check with her.
Hey, call
I'm
Kathy. Call
gonna
Kathy.
try and get dressed just a little bit better than Mike Palma. That's my goal.
You'll be
Okay?
fine.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Hey,
Mike.
thanks for
Thanks.
having me,
Great
guys.
seeing you. We're gonna have to
You
pour
guys
some
are-
fresh
you guys
ones.
are legends, and I appreciate sharing the stage with you. It's been awesome.
you, guys.
Remember,
Thank you
guys,
for joining.
Mickey's on 12th, right? Quarter to 12th.
Yeah, 12th in
in
Washington.
Washington, open
Yeah.
7 days a week, right?
Yep.
If now you know the owner.
Big Mike's
His name is
Fast,
Mike Palma.
live music, sports, fun. Just come
So
visit
if you go over there, just tell Mike Palma sent you.
and support local business.
100%.
Wonderful. Cheers, guys.
Thank
See
you
you next
guys.
week.
Thank you guys. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.